Okay, rounding to tens or hundreds. Whenever you're rounding, you want to remember one basic rule, and I'll tell you how to tell which number you're looking at in a moment. If it's 5 or larger, you add one. Smaller than 5, leave alone. That's the basic rule that you have to remember for rounding. Now, if you're rounding to tens or hundreds, it does matter how many zeros there are in each one of those. So let's say I have 891 and I'm rounding to the nearest 10. Well, 10 has one zero, so I'm going to underline one number. You always go from right to left. That means you're trying to decide if the number just to the left of that either stays the same or goes up. And you're looking to make that decision, you're looking at the number that you just underlined. Okay? So since that number underlined is a 1, it's smaller than a 5, so you're going to leave the 9 alone. So what you do is you write the number, any numbers in front of that 9 you leave like they are. That number that's underlined you change to a 0, and you have just rounded. Okay, so again, if we're looking at 64 to the nearest 10, a 10 has one 0, so we're looking at the 4. We're trying to decide about the number directly to the left of that. We're trying to decide about the 6. So since 4 is smaller than 5, we're going to leave the 6 alone. The underlined numbers, you change to 0. So the answer is 60. If we're taking 479 to the nearest 100, the number 100 has two zeros, so I'm underlining two numbers. However, you're just going to look at this number that's closest to the number that's not underlined. So we're trying to make a decision about the 4, and we want to know what the number next to that is. So since 7 is larger than 5, you have to actually add 1 to the 4. So 4 plus 1 is 5, and then any numbers that are underlined turn into zeros. So the answer would be 500.